Good morning. Good morning. It's 3:01 a.m. It's that beautiful Monday morning again. I'm on my way to the gym to get some money. I woke up this morning with some serious case of anxiety. And for me, when I say a serious case of anxiety, that's any anxiety. That's any thoughts of worry about what the future is going to be or how something's going to work out. For me, that's, I'm not trying to say that you should live in a world where anxiety doesn't exist, because I don't know the true possibilities of that. I think that's a battle going on that's outside of my area of expertise. The best I can do is just stay in faith that what I believe to be possible or relevant or real stays at the forefront of my mind, above and beyond any fear or any doubt that may try to break its way inside. And I had to keep telling myself, and mind you, the things that I'm talking about right now they're not earth-shattering. They're not, the difference between life and death, and even sometimes in fear or anxiety, you have to put things in perspective like that and say, hey, it's not life and death. But nevertheless, when you have fear and anxiety, sometimes it feels like life and death, and it's impossible to get it under control for the moment. So you just kind of go into that emotion of it versus saying, hey, listen, dude, this is unfounded information that you're trying to push upon me, and I don't accept it. I don't trust it. But two things that I've been able to do that allow me to get through anxiety is, one is saying, devil, I know you a lie. Right? Because that's the only person that tries to come steal, kill, and destroy any of your hopes and your dreams, and tries to get you to go on the defense each and every day. I mean, he's like, dude, if you wake up with that God stuff again, if you wake up with that positive stuff again, if you wake up with that building a legacy, if you wake up with that building a wall against me to keep me out, dude, whatever I can do, I'm going to try to shut you down. So the first thing I got to always say is, devil, I know you a lie, because you're the only one that will come in my mind and start trying to play this doubt game. But the second thing I'll do is, depending on what it is exactly being challenged, whether it's my faith, whether it's my love, whether it's my money, whether it's my business, whether it's my kids, whether it's my health, the first thing that happens when I start feeling like I'm being challenged in any area of my life is I go on offense. I'll give you an example of what offense is for me. Let's say I feel like I'm getting ready to get sick. Maybe my throat feels a little bit scratchy. Maybe my nose is doing something a little extra special. Maybe my eyes are watering. I automatically start. Well, one is I start praying, but two is I start medicating. Whether it be my nasal spray, my eye drops, maybe a couple pills, something to counteract that, and I take it in faith that everything is going to be okay. If it's my finances, then I double down. And what I mean by as I double down is I start pulling even more money out to go towards investing versus being conservative and saving. I pull more out and go more towards investing, whether it's investing in a stock or investing in my business for some new equipment or some new supplies. See, because I'm a firm believer that if you invest in yourself, the payoff is phenomenal. So when you get challenged, and if you can isolate and you can identify what area of your life is being challenged, then my suggestion is that you double down and that you go into offense ever go into defense. Don't ever go into passivity, trying to protect your lead, trying to protect the stance. Because I'll tell you, this morning, what was going through my mind was a client had reached out to me last night, and it was a clear miscommunication, not between me, but between a service that I use for my client. And I read the email. This is 9 o'clock at night when I should be going to sleep, which kind of tell you the devil is a lie, because he'll play with you right before you're getting ready to go to bed and have you waking up with a thought. And I got to reading this email, and I'm looking at it, and I can tell it's completely wrong. So if my client wrote the email, then he must be up. So let me go ahead and try to communicate back real quick, because it's a resolvable issue. And I never want my clients to ever, I mean, you're going to do what you want. You're going to fear. You're going to be angry. You're going to have anxiety. You're going to worry. You're going to do all that regardless. But I'm always going to try to put you in your best state of mind from my perspective and say, everything's good. Everything's cool. Don't worry about it. Here's where we're at. You feel about it however you want to feel about it. It is what it is. And I reached out to him. No response. So I sent the email plus a text message and said, hey, listen, I think it is a misunderstanding. Everything's fine. Please proceed as usual, as normal. If you have any questions, give me a call. Boom. Leave it at that. See, I could have just stayed babysitting that situation, but instead, and even though I woke up with the same thoughts and I was like, I hope it's not an issue. What if it does this? What if it does that? The second thing I do, besides, sorry about that. So the second thing that I do is I make sure that I stay on offense. Listen, clients gonna come and go. People gonna come and go. You got to stay building your circle. You got to stay building your database. You got to stay building whatever it is that you set out to build from day one, and keep on building in that direction. Absolutely, positively, nothing comes in the way of building. Even if what you've built has been destroyed, you build again. See, I'm starting to learn this game. See, this is a spiritual battle going on. They ain't got nothing to do with me, and I got to just rely on my resources. I have to rely on my resources to get me through. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be battles going on where I don't necessarily need to participate because it ain't got nothing to do with me. It's kind of like two people that are not me having a beef with one another. Well, I got a beef with such and such. Well, what's that got to do with me? I hear your side of the story. I hear your side of the story. Hey, it sounds like y'all got a problem you need to work out. God and the devil has an issue that needs to be worked out. But I know where I reside at. I know what side of the law I live at. So that's no longer an issue for me. Does it rear its ugly head? Absolutely. I'm not saying you're going to go without fear. You're not going to go without anxiety. I'm not saying you're not going to doubt. But I'm saying the more you go into what it is that you believe, the more you start exercising your faith, the more those fears and those doubts are easier to conquer, so you don't dwell in them as long. I remember times when I would dwell in fear and anxiety. I remember when I was in prison. I remember when I was getting ready to be sentenced. I remember all these other things, but I also remember from the very beginning of my life how great and how blessed I always felt, how special I always felt. I always remember that. So now when I look back on all that anxiety and that fear and that prison sentence, and I look back on all that, I could really say that it was just a path in life. It was just a cross I had to bear. Yeah, that's how I could say it. It was the cross I had to bear. And I still have to bear. You don't have to live with anxiety. You just have to get you a couple weapons to fight against it. Because all that is intended to slow down progress. That's it. You got to let the devil know when he comes up against anything that you're trying to do, and you have to say it. You got to tell him, I know you a lie. devil, I know you a lie. And then you have to go on the offense. Depending on what area you're being attacked in, you need to go harder in that area. So when he starts attacking my potential client, my business, then I'll triple down. I'll go after 5 more pieces of business. And I'll get it. I won't let him stop me. I won't let nothing stop me. Not a person, a place, or a thing. And when you start having that mindset, there's nothing that can come in your way. Absolutely nothing.